Viewpoint, the program of personalities, politicians, and perspectives. And again, as I say, today, we about the politicians. We'll bring them on. Spring election's coming, before you know it.
Yes,
we'll have to have a couple of 3 candidates on. And get down and talk about scheduling that, too, Mrs. Busby. Kudos.
Yes, I think it would be appropriate to recognize Mr. Les Plotner as chairman, and Kathy Kinsey, who worked very hard, and Deb Ackerman and Cynthia Kelly, who worked very hard to pull together the Martin Luther King breakfast Monday morning. It was very well attended, I thought.
Yes, it was.
And it was a nice breakfast at Lincoln College in the old gym, the Davis and Schaefer gym, and for a noble cause.
And Dr. Richards did a fine job with his presentation.
Oh gosh, was that ever interesting?
Yeah.
You know, I've known him, but I had no idea, of course, that he had marched with Dr. King, and I can't imagine the people's horror going through that we saw on newsreels. You know, the batons and the fire hoses and the dogs and the awfulness. And he said something that I thought was interesting during his talk about the fact that the crowds that were not in the march but were on the sidelines were more upset with him and others like him, the Caucasians who were participating in this. They could see that the others had a point, maybe. But these people inserting themselves
putting
in
your nose
this.
in our water.
Yeah, right. And I thought that was an interesting aside.
Well, it was an interesting time, certainly. By coincidence, as I said last week, I mentioned that I had just seen that American Experience program on this year of '64 particularly, and it was kind of a riveting thing, although I remembered seeing those pictures, and all of us do very, very well. Interestingly enough, American Experience had another great program last night, War Letters, and it was a compilation of letters that soldiers and GIs and mothers had written back and forth and so forth, and intertwined with that, juxtapositioned with the reading of the letters and all, the various war scenes. And I got to thinking, if every politician in the world could revisit that program, you know, kind of a Pollyannish thought, but boy, it was a pretty gripping thing. All these guys were writing letters to their sweethearts, their wives, and so forth, and then there'd be a little crawler go across, lieutenant or sergeant or private or so, died 2 weeks later.
See, I'm sorry, I'm just not a realist. I can't watch those things. I just can't do it.
Well,
and I know that that's not right. But do you think the day will come when we'll study war no more?
No, unfortunately. None of us reckon with terrorism. And none of us reckon with all these different religions and so forth. That you can look down the pike all you want, but you couldn't begin to fathom that would happen again. You know how naive we were when we came home. All of us after WW2 came home and got on with going to school and going to work and whatever. And that's that, and we won't have any more. Well, la-di-da. It wasn't but a little bit later, and Korea comes along, and so there we are. Anyway, I may make a kudo to our coach, Neil Alexander.
Yes.
Coach had his 700th win. He's done a great job out there. But more importantly, and I want to emphasize this, more importantly than the wins, and they're great and they're fun, and that's what competition's all about, is to try to win. But the impact that a coach like Neil has on youngsters, many of whom need a father figure or so forth, is a great thing. So congratulations to Neil on that, and thanks to him for his influence on and impact on a lot of youngsters who profited from being under his tutelage. Now, why don't you get along and introduce our little guest this morning?
Yes,
We've got an
yes, I
interesting
would. Well, we got a
subject matter.
twofer this morning.
This is. We brought her all the way from Lincoln, you know. So.
From out of town.
Pay her, did we pay her mileage?
Well, certainly, most generously. Dara Entwistle is here wearing two hats today, actually. We're going to begin by talking about a surgical procedure that she elected to participate in.
A very successful
yes,
surgical procedure.
And followed by a little sketch of the new Timber Creek installation.
You could tell she came from Minnesota because she called it crick.
Crick, yes.
Well, you people say several words wrong.
Now, anybody says oof now, you know, what do you expect?
And I also say aunt, by the way.
Yes.
Yes, and
My Aunt Mabel, it's her Aunt Mabel.
Aunt Mabel.
enough for my for my language foibles. And Dara's going to talk about Timber Creek, and it is just on the south side of ALMH. And we're going to start with this surgery. You know, we've all read and heard and seen something on television about, the only word I can come up with is lap band surgery, but there are different sorts of things.
Yes, there's different types of surgeries. When I knew I wanted to lose weight, I started researching it. I'm a huge fan of research. And
You young people are like that.
don't jump into anything fast. And but anyway, and I've worked medical for over 20 years. And so anyway, I've been, I guess you can say, blessed to have my eyes opened to see the good, the bad, the ugly of all the surgeries. Now, the three different types of surgeries are, number one, gastric bypass. That is, I guess you can say, the oldest one out there, where they completely just reroute your stomach into your intestines and redo this and redo that. And there has been great success stories, and there has not been great success stories. There's been people that have had, you know, health problems from that and bad health problems. And then there's also lap band. Well, lap band is a foreign object that they put in your stomach and just to squeeze it off and make your stomach smaller. And you have to keep going into the doctor's office and getting that adjusted. Well, then the third surgery, well, it's a foreign object. And to me, the reason why that one didn't appeal to me is because you're more susceptible to infections, and you have to keep going back into the doctor's office and getting that band tightened up more. And I mean, it may appeal to some people, and to me, it did not. I mean, you know, to each his own. And like I said, people have been successful and unsuccessful with that surgery.
Is the tightening of this another surgery each time? Because your stomach is not on the outside of you.
No, they just leave like a small hole opened right there in the side of your stomach, like a little port, so to speak, and they can just go in there and just tighten it up. And
Like winding your watch.
Oh, yeah, winding your
WD-40
watch.
in there.
Yeah, there you go. And but the surgery that I chose was called gastric sleeve, and it's done laparoscopic. And what they do is they go in and remove the right side of your stomach, and then your left side, they just leave the left side of your stomach, and it's smaller, so it almost looks like a little sleeve. Now, the reason why they take out the right side, they have proven that that controls your hunger. And so anyway, really, you're not losing nutrients when you do eat. Yes, you do have to increase your vitamins, but you're still able to naturally absorb everything, because with bypass you really are not absorbing everything. Everything's kind of shooting through you and going right into your intestines. It's not going into your stomach and processing like it should, and then continuing the process. Why
nutrients.
Eat? That's right. So so I chose gastric sleeve, and anyway, it's been phenomenal. It's been wonderful. I was fat. I mean, I will admit it. If you're going to have the surgery, you do have to come to terms. I did weigh close to 300 pounds, right at 300.
Did you?
Yes. And
My
as of
goodness,
today,
yeah.
I weigh myself every single morning, like religion. And this morning I weighed 126. So I literally lost a person and a half.
You did. You just did.
That's amazing.
You didn't blame that on any metabolic issue that you had or anything?
No, I
You
mean,
just-
growing up, I was an athletic size 8, I guess you can say. I was in swimming in high school. I was on the softball team, and I stayed active. But some of the strikes I have against me is my loving German genes, so to speak. So if we look at a pie, I guess we do gain about 15 pounds. But there's a lot of to attribute to weight loss and to gaining weight. But I did. I had a hysterectomy 5 years ago, and just kept gaining weight, and nothing would work. I did Jenny Craig. I did Weight Watchers. I exercised. I yo-yoed. I was a yo-yo person. So 1 minute you'd gain 15, you'd lose 10. Or then, it kept going back and forth, back and forth.
And isn't that very hard on your system?
It's hard on your body, yes. And the weight was taking a toll on my body itself.
Joints.
Yeah, my joints. When I got the first 30 pounds off, I stopped crying going up and down steps. My body stopped hurting. It was
it
wonderful.
your hips or your knees?
My knees. My knees just wanted to keep going out on me, and it just hurt. And then my back also. My back just constantly
I can
ached.
believe that.
And, so I just, it was awful. It really, really was. And I also have COPD, and then also I had sleep apnea. And so with the sleep apnea, I'm not on my sleep machine anymore. I can actually just lay down and go to sleep. So it is wonderful. So
648-5510. Somebody might have some questions for Dara Entwistle here. It's kind of an off-the-path subject. It's certainly one that I would not have thought to talk about as far as being on air and short is concerned. And it's kind of a byproduct of having Dara here to talk about something else here in just shortly. But it's a very, very interesting. A lot of folks out there have a problem. They don't know what the heck to do about it.
Right, and I've had people say, hey, you cheated by having surgery. And I said, no, I didn't. I said it's another tool, just like exercise is a tool. Eating the proper foods is a tool.
Do you have a regular exercise program now that you do?
I try to fit that into my busy routine, I guess you can say. But yes, I do exercise. I do go work out. I lift weights. I walk a lot. I do park further in parking lots now. I mean, just all those little things, they add up. They truly add up.
What about your diet? Do you use any real restrictions on that now, or are you kind of this surgery has kind of freed you up a little bit from that worry?
Well, number one, you have to increase your proteins. Actually, we had to learn how to re-eat properly. Growing up on a family farm, what was put on your plate, you had to clean your plate. And now
For the starving Armenians who
Yep.
weren't going to get what was scraped from your plate.
That's
anyway.
right. And Mom always said, there's starving children in Africa.
Yeah.
And my brother one time did say, well, we can ship it to them. So, and like I said, he only said that one time. So.
Yeah, that's right. If you're raised in the right household, that's only a one-timer.
You betcha.
That's right. But it's, no sodies. I do drink coffee and iced tea with no sugar because I cannot process sugar as well as others.
Well, what if I dangled a donut in front of you?
Really, it doesn't bother me. I don't sit there and crave, gosh, I gotta have that mellow cream donut, with that nice cream filling in it. And, it's a whole new attitude. I want to live. I want to be healthy. And so anyway, my health is my number one priority. It is. It's a whole lifestyle. It's a whole mind change.
When you were doing your researching, did you run across anything that compared attitudes on the part of men as opposed to the part of women toward losing weight? Do men care as much
They
whether
do.
they weigh 180 or 380?
What kind of comical is people used to not want to hold the door open for me. Going into like a restaurant, going into a business, and now if it's a now that I've lost the weight, men are like, oh, can I hold the door open for you? And I almost want to say, when I weighed 300 pounds, you didn't want to do that. But now I'm skinny, you want to do that?
I could have used the help before.
Well, yeah, now I don't need
That's
the
when you
help.
needed it,
So, and it's sad. As a society, we do look at people, and I've taught my kids, you always look at the inside of a person. You never look on the outside of a person.
Last night I was channel surfing and I ran across a program that I think was on, rather than it being a promo for the program. It was called My 600-Pound Life or something like that. And this lady wasn't even mobile anymore, I don't think.
And that's when you look at the family. Who's been giving that person that food?
Well, who's taking care of those kids?
Yeah, who's taking
You
care of the
can't-
kids? Who's taking care of all of that? I know. And it's sad. We truly, we look at our children, nowadays, and we've become lazy with the remote for the television.
How about your own kids, if I may be so bold?
No, go ahead.
Since you were enjoying brownies and pie and donuts, do your kids have
They still eat the brownies.
propensity for that?
They still eat brownies and pies. I don't buy soda, and I'm always poo-pooing the idea of when we go out to eat for soda. They've started exercising more. My oldest did lose 30 pounds last year. He changed his diet, so to speak, started exercising and just watching what he ate. And I've told my kids, when you feel full, stop. Don't eat anymore. And, if you go to, I hate to pick on McDonald's or Wendy's or any of these restaurants, and they're like, hey, you can supersize it. You're saving more money by getting this. You don't need it. You truly don't need all that food.
So you think that the mother or the parents can actually set the tone in the home
They can. It's a trickle-down effect.
for the kids?
It is. It's a true trickle-down effect. And, I want to be more active with my kids and keep them active. And what's great is we do, I guess you could say I have 3 boys, so we wrestle a lot. And my big, strapping 19-year-old freshman in college likes to bear hug me now. And so I can't. He says, look, I've made you immobile. So
Judith K., speaking of weight, we have a 400-pound gorilla in the studio here, and it's called commercials.
Oh, okay.
And if we don't take a couple of minutes to cut for commercials, that 400-pound gorilla is going to let itself be known. Right back live in the studios here, high on the hill. Crazy Road's the name of the road out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Program's Viewpoint. Our guest this morning is Dara Baker Entwistle, and she's going to be the administrator, if I understand correctly,
Yes.
of Timber Creek. Timber Creek Village.
Get a rest.
For those of you who haven't noticed, just south of the Abraham Lincoln Memorial Hospital, there's a big building project going on out there. They're working right even through this cold weather. And Dara is here to tell us about an assisted living community. So I'm going to just step back and throw the ball to you in the end zone. And you can take it from there, Dara. And then
Well, when
just
you were
turn it.
saying kudos earlier, I would like to give out a kudos to the hospital. And we, Timber Creek Village, bought the property from Lincoln Hospital. And the hospital has been a wonderful cheerleader for us, supporter of us, been very helpful. And so I want to say thank you very much to all the staff out there. So they've been wonderful.
There are nice people who work there. They're nice to me all the time.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Well, there's a reason for that being nice to her.
I
because
don't
she
know
produces
about
for 'em.
I know. I know.
Let's just define real quickly.
Sure.
What is assisted living?
Yeah, that's a good...
Let's just cut to the chase.
Cut to the chase. We'll get down to the nitty-gritty. Assisted living is that we can assist seniors 55 years and older with their meals if they need it. We will have restaurant-style meals. We can assist them in housekeeping, laundry, taking them to doctor's appointments as
Mowing
well.
the lawn.
Mowing the lawn. And in this cold weather, scooping the snow. You won't have to
Right.
go out and scoop the snow. So, but...
I think that's one reason people look to assisted living. This business of it comes to pass that to trim the hedge and do all the outside work. We know because we go out there and do it, don't
I've
we?
been thinking seriously about it, but that's only one of us in my house that's thinking about it. One week good, one week
You have to have a meeting
So
about
that's not
that.
likely to happen for a while.
Now,
But
Dara,
when you worry about that, you know.
What is the upper level of care that you offer? Do you have a nurse, for instance, that's on staff and there to help people? You know, let me tell you this, because this is a hoot, I think. My mom and dad, my dad got up before my mother did. She was never a morning person. She didn't even know we went to school. Anyway, he'd get up and get their breakfast ready and get their pills out and put his by his plate and hers by hers plate. And then my mom would get up later and then they'd eat together. And then one morning my dad said, well, where is the dog's pill? And my mom said, oh, I guess I ate it. And she didn't bark anymore.
She didn't bark anymore.
But that kind of thing comes to pass, you know.
Right.
And
They may not need assistance with medicines, but we are going to have an RN there. She's not going to be there all the time in the building, but the RN will be there to set up the medicines.
yes.
And then we will have CNAs that will go ahead and make sure that you do take your medicine when you need to, because,
Yes.
I mean, and you don't have to be 55 years and older. I mean, you don't have to be 75. You don't have to be 82. That say, hey, did I take that pill today? You know, or not. I
yeah.
mean, even
It
myself, it happens to everyone, you know, and even kids, you know, when the kids are sick and you're giving them, you know, the Motrin and the Tylenol. I mean, I write down, okay, at such and such time, you know, the kids had this, and at such a time I gave them this. So, you know, that is one great burden, rest assured, taken off your shoulders, taken off your family's shoulders. So, you know, your family's not worrying, did they over-medicate? You know, or are they getting the proper medicine at the proper times when needed?
But now, the people who live in assisted living, wouldn't they be responsible for being able to dress themselves and being able to come down to the dining room?
No, we can help them. We'll help, you know, if you've got problems getting dressed, we'll be there.
If you get to that
help
point,
you.
you do have that assistance.
Yes, we do. We do
I
have that
frankly
assistance.
didn't think in terms of somebody being a handicap to that extent that they would need help dressing. I just kind of thought in my naivete that when you get to that point, you're
Yeah,
talking
right.
about nursing home per se.
No. Our job is to keep you healthy, happy, and active in your own home.
Now, do you have some sort of a gym, and do you have a place for people to go for beautification day?
Yes, we are going to have a beauty shop there as well, and we will have an exercise room, and we'll be offering exercise classes. And also, I'm looking into having walking groups as well, because going around the entire building, it's going to be nice concrete paths going around it as well. So, and it'll be really nice there.
Now, there will be a set fee depending on the type of room one chooses, or the type of apartment, I should say, not room.
Right, we've got
But,
4 different types of apartments.
But now
Four.
you add to that, you can subscribe to whomever for your television service or your computer service, but that would be on your nickel,
Nope,
right?
that's all included.
Really?
Really, yes.
Wi-Fi, for those of us who like...
We're working
computers.
into the Wi-Fi. I'll kind of run down everything that's included
Yes,
for
that's-
you.
as they say in showbiz, take it from the top.
Take it from the top. All utilities are going to be provided except for telephone. We tried working that out with Comcast, but we're unsuccessful. It wasn't something that it was on our part. It was on Comcast's part. So you will have expanded cable in each apartment. You will have a 24-hour emergency call system. So if you're at home right now and you are paying for the Lifeline service, you won't have to have that here when you move in with us. We will.
Now, I just as soon you'd bypass that. You know, that's part of my job.
I know, I'm
an
stepping on
installer.
your toes. I'm very, very sorry.
Putting your oar in your water, isn't it?
She is.
Well, that's
But-
great, though. That's a good thing.
But it is. I mean, so we'll be giving them it's like a wristwatch, something to wear around their arm, and they'll just, push a button. So when you do need something, if you need help getting that shirt on, or if you got a question about your medicine, or if you did fall,
Can't get out of the tub.
can't get out of the tub, we're right there for you as well. And in each apartment, you'll have your own thermostat, so you can control how hot you like it, how cold you like it.
Yes. Oh, that is perfectly necessary.
So say one
Particularly for
apartment.
older people, they, you know.
Well, not older, but since I lost the weight, I like it hot too.
Uh-huh.
So I'll be hanging out with you when you move in, Bill.
Hmm.
So yes, we can keep it 80 degrees.
Oh, my dad had his at 120, I think. And I was in there doing some
Yeah.
deeper cleaning for them, you know, in shorts and a T-shirt and sweating like a butcher. And I said, Dad, would you care if I turned the furnace off? And he said, no, go right ahead. So I turned on the air conditioning, and he said, there's a draft. I can feel a draft. There's a draft. I said, I'll fix it.
You had no Kenny to appreciate all that.
Oh,
Go ahead, Dara. Wait, let's enumerate these
No, that's okay.
features.
We'll have an exercise room, a beauty and barber shop, a coffee bar, a theater room as well. Also, in a theater room, it's going to be dual purposes, so we will also have church services in there as well. We will have 3 delicious home-cooked meals daily, and it is going to be restaurant style, so you'll be able to come in and order off of a menu.
Like you could have coffee and an English muffin for breakfast, or
Yes.
you could have bacon and eggs
Bacon,
and
eggs, or
toast
scrambled
and-
eggs.
Now,
or,
how do you delineate the difference? There's quite a difference in cost in what you just described here. Is this all?
This is all included. These are all the
You
services
can either
included.
take the full breakfast, or you can have a bowl of cereal and a
Bowl
glass
of
of milk.
cereal
and
or a
that's
little
that.
bowl of oatmeal and
Yeah,
some
okay.
sliced apples on top. That's fine. We are going to have unlimited snacks in our coffee bar and also in our great room as well. Now, when I hit on the snacks part, we're also going to have, juices as well. But then here I'm talking about the Henri snacks. We're going to have a soda fountain machine, and we'll have cookies, bags of chips, you name it. So if you get that salty kind of craving, you want to have some chips, you can. So, but we'll, like I said, the healthy and the Henri. I call them the Henri snacks. Personal weekly housekeeping and laundry services are also included. Now, if you are the type of person that says, my back hurts when I make the bed and when I put on those fresh sheets, but I still want to do my undergarments, that's okay. You can do that because we're also going to have washers and dryers there for you to use, and they're not coin operated, so that's included too. So just like home, that's not a problem. So we can come in and do your bedding for you and change those big heavy sheets, and if you still want to do your personal items, you can. That's not a problem, but that's all included. Also, we'll have quarterly health evaluations from our licensed staff, so going over how is your health changing? Also, so we can talk to your doctors, talk with you, so we can stay on top of it and keep you healthy as well. We got free transportation to local medical doctors' appointments there in town, so we can run
Or
you.
downtown for errands. Do you have it on a scheduled transportation for something like that? Let's say you want to go downtown and do some banking, or just maybe go downtown and go to a restaurant downtown, whatever. You have scheduled
Scheduled transportation
trips down
rides.
there?
Now, we're not going to have a bus. What we're going to have is a facility car. So it'll be easier for you to get in out of a car. So anyway.
Easy for you to say.
A nice sized car, yes. And like I said, we're going to have trained staff there, and they are certified. They're going to be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week as well. And also daily activities and programs, outings, different events going on.
Let's talk a little bit about
And let me back up really quick. And pets. I know we're pet friendly. We are extremely
Really?
yes.
That's the important thing. If somebody has go to Rover, or Rover Red as the case may be, and they want to move in, they can take their little dog.
Yes.
What about a lab? Something like a big dog.
You can
that's
have-
a pretty good sized dog.
I know. They can have the dog as long as they can take care of the dog. The dogs can move in, and in fact, we've already got 2 dogs moving in.
That's interesting.
We've already been renting apartments, and a cat. Yes.
oh, Jim.
Well, we can't
Jim,
get
you and the cat can move in.
Yeah.
Jim's cat's not going to get away from the mixing board here because it's warm. But that's an interesting observation, though, that pets can be included.
Yes. Yes. And we welcome that because it's your house. That is your home. So
And that had nothing to do with fees and so forth.
there is going to be a $500 extra pet fee in case Fido likes to tear something up.
I would think so.
Then we do have
When
a
you say 500, per
Just one-time pet entrance
a
fee.
one-time. Let's call it a deposit.
Yes,
If you excuse the
we have a pet
expression-
deposit. You
Excuse
can.
the expression, it's a pet deposit.
It is your pet deposit. So anyway, so yes. Uh-huh.
And now let's get into how you're going to entertain them. Are you going to have bridge clubs or chess clubs or what?
Yes, I want all kinds of different clubs. I want it active there. I
Book
really,
club?
really do. Yes.
Will you have a little library?
Yes, we are going to have a nice little sitting room. It's going to be at the front of the building, so when you come in, they'll be able to... the cat went in.
Yeah, I think.
There she is. She heard us talking about pets, so anyway.
Now, they have a small library.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. How are you going to acquire these books? Like somebody, in my case, got a lot of books, I'm not sure what to do with them. We take donations for books and that type of thing?
Yes,
I just kind of came off the wall when you mentioned library.
Right. So yeah, so if you've got some books you do want to donate to us, that would be great. We would welcome that.
Are you going to have like a computer room? Because so many people are right here. My sidekick.
Yes, in that sitting area there is going to be a computer there for you to use as well. So if you don't have one in your apartment, then we will have one there for the
But
residents
each
to use.
apartment will be Wi-Fi'd so that you can hook a computer up in your apartment.
We're looking into that right now. So
That would be a primary consideration for some of us.
Yeah, it would.
yes.
It truly would.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we're looking into that right now. So
Well,
like I
if
said,
they
we're being
didn't,
built.
I'm not like Bill at all. I'm impaired. If they didn't have a central Wi-Fi, couldn't you get Wi-Fi? Purchase yourself a little Wi-Fi-er for your own
Building's got to be
apartment?
Building's got to be set up for that, so that's what we're in the process of looking at right now. So like I said, we're still building. We're still, a
Yeah.
shell of
Right,
the building.
yeah.
So, yes.
Now, let's just talk economics here. These apartments are going to range from a lower level up to. Let's talk in specific terms of dollars. How much does Mr. and Mrs. Johnson or Mr. Johnson or Mrs. whoever, if they want apartments are so much, period, whether there's one or two people living in them.
Right. For, we have a couple efficiency apartments, and the square footage on those are 500 square feet, and that rental is $2,600. And then for a one-bedroom apartment, that's 590 feet, and that's $2,900. And then we will have two-bedroom apartments as well, and all of our apartments do have walk-in closets. I might want to add to this, but the two-bedroom rents at $3,300, and then we have two-bedroom deluxes, and those rent at $3,500. But remember, all amenities are included in this, and all the apartments are going to have walk-in, or you want to call them roll-in showers in the bathrooms, so they are extremely handicap accessible. And we are also going to have a bathtub in the building. So if you're the type of person on a Saturday night that likes to sit and have a hot bath, but getting older is becoming more and more of a challenge for you getting into a bathtub, that's not a problem. Our bathtub is going to be handicap accessible. There is going to be the pull cord in there, so what you can do is,
Emergency?
the girls can help you get into the bathtub and let you nice and relax and ponder away of your Saturday evening, and when you're done, you can page them, and we'll be there to help you get out also as well.
Is that a jacuzzi-ish type tub?
I'm not sure exactly what kind of tub it is yet, but I do know they did tell me that it is going to be, we do get to have a bathtub. So,
Well, good.
Yes.
Well, I was intrigued in our early conversation outside the studio, Dara, that you already have some units rented. And in the process of
Renting others.
and what would be the expected completion time?
We're saying mid-spring.
Which translates into July 1?
No, which translates into the Lord and weather willing, will be hopefully moving residents in the end of April, the first week in May.
Really?
Yes. Now also too, we do offer free moving service as well. We have a box van So if
No
you're
kidding.
Yes, so if you are worried about how you're going to get your items over to Timber Creek, we take all the worries away. We will help you move free of charge.
Now, Timber Creek is not a local entity. They have other facilities in other places.
We do. We're based out of Effingham. We've been in business for over 20 years. We have the Glenwood properties, which are supportive livings, and then we also have Timber Creek Village apartments or assisted livings. And we have a total of 9 properties, 7 in Illinois and
Really?
2 in Montana.
Well, that's out of town.
That is out of town. And in fact, I had an inquiry from someone the other day. Their loved one is 48 years old and is needing assistance to moving in. But with Illinois state regs, you have to be in an assisted living 55 years and older. But in Montana, you can be any age.
Really?
Yes, and I said to them, I said, laying all jokes aside, this is something to think about. If you want, you can move into our property there in Montana, because we do have a 33-year-old, I was told, living there in an assisted living. And I said, then when you come of age, you can move back. And the family's actually seriously thinking about doing that. They really are.
Well, you know, that's a law that they might look at, because lots of times people aren't 55 and need something like an assisted living situation. So that, I guess you have to set limits someplace, but that's too bad.
Right.
I'd like to go back to your dining facilities, if you may, just a minute.
Sure.
I heard you say, Dara, that you would have a menu from which you can order. Over and above that, is there a set menu that they're going to make available each day, or will all of the ordering be by the meal?
What do you mean by a set menu?
Well, in other words, will you have...
like a special is what you're talking... Yes.
A special entree every day?
Right.
Or with I guess I'll drop it right there.
Yeah. We'll
Before I
have...
get further confused. I can do that.
You can, yes, you can. No, you could come in and order, say we are going to have a special for the day, and if you don't, if that special doesn't, get your fancy, I should say, then you can order something else off the menu. We'll have like a backup if you want, or if you want some soup, we'll have soup. So we'll have different choices for you to choose from off the menu.
But only in the efficiencies. I'm looking here. Only in the efficiencies. Are there cooking facilities?
No, there isn't any cooking facilities in any of the apartments. What comes with the apartment is your microwave and your refrigerator. So there isn't any stoves in there. So we'll be doing all the cooking for you.
I see.
But if you want to have a nice hot bowl of oatmeal put in the microwave to warm up, that's fine, or a bowl of cereal in your apartment, you can, or a toaster. You can have a toaster, and and you just don't feel like coming down, for a meal, that's fine. Now, say for example, you do get the flu, and you're saying, I am just sick. That's not a problem. Let us know. We will go ahead and bring the food to you, to your apartment. So you don't have to come to the dining room.
There are no stoves in any of the apartments.
No, there is no stoves, no.
Now let me ask you
That's
this.
kind of a thing that others observe as well, because is it
I can
the
see fire
danger of
hazards.
somebody forgetting to turn
And
the
it
stove
could be,
off?
yes, yeah.
Sure, I see fire
Turning on the
hazards
stove,
going on,
yes.
yeah. Now, if Judy is in there and she has her brother coming down from Minnesota, and she wants a little gathering of friends and so forth, there are facilities for them?
Yes.
Have little private parties, per se?
Yes, we'll have a private dining room there, and then in the coffee bar, it's another whole big, I guess you can say a dining room or as well, but that's where you can have your bridge club that you were talking about, pinochle club, families entertaining in there too, and then there's French doors. I want to kind of tap into that, going out to our courtyard. And when I talk about our courtyard, getting back to the apartments, and we're kind of jumping around a bit, but the apartments are going to have 2 entrances. They will have an inside entrance into their apartment, and then also an outside entrance. So there is going to be a patio that you can have your patio furniture, your bird feeder. You can sit out there as well. And some of the apartments are facing, I was touching into there, the courtyard. We'll have French doors coming off of our big great room. It's a vaulted great room. We're going to have a pool table, a fireplace in there as well. Nice relaxing area. And then also coming out of the coffee bar area, too, out into the courtyard.
Well, not every resident or potential resident has given up driving privileges. Do you have adequate parking facilities for, you have 40 units, as I see here on the floor plan. Very nicely done floor plan. You have adequate parking facilities
Yes.
in front of the building?
In front of the building and on the side of the building, too, as well. And so say it snowed, on Monday, and you want to go somewhere, we'd be more than happy to go clean the snow off your windshield and warm the car up and bring it up to you. So I guess you can say valet parking.
I guess.
Sounding better all the time.
As well. So I mean, we do. We're going to take away all those little things that you're worried about at home. We take them all away as well. And if we lose power, we do have a backup generator, so the building will not lose power.
Good. Now, it won't be an all-electric building, though, will it? There was a while there that there wasn't gas service available to anybody.
Oh, no, the generator's going to...
something?
Yeah, the generator's going to be gas, so natural gas power.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nothing to worry about there.
Oh,
So-
well, yeah, it wouldn't do you any good to have an electric generator.
Right.
Now, opening up a facility such as this, going to make some housekeeping jobs available. So those who in
I've
the
already
kitchen,
I've already had some people inquiring about employment. So I welcome them to contact me, and I'd be more than happy to mail them employment applications. And we're going to look to start hiring probably the end of March, first part of April. We're going to look to start hiring our staff. So
Now, there may be some folks out there who are thinking of Aunt Mary or even their fathers and mothers. They might want to do a little more research. How would they contact you on the internet?
on the internet, they can email me at timbercreekvillage3 at hotmail.com. Yep, the number 3.
The numeral 3, not the word.
Correct, just the number 3.
Timber Creek 3.
Timber Creek 3 at hotmail.com, or they can go to our web address, timbercreekvillagecommunity.com. Or if they want to be old-fashioned and talk to me, they can go ahead.
People still do that.
We still do that from time to time. They can call 217-871-7666. And if they want to text me, they can text me on that number too. So that's not a problem as well. So.
Well, you're very obtainable, aren't you?
I sure am, and it's going up quite well. We're going to have shingles on the building here in about 30 days, less than 30 days, and the Amish have been putting the walls together for us, and so it's going to go up quite right away and quite nicely too, I might add. So.
Very good.
You know, speaking of the Amish years, many years ago, I did a house over in Decatur, and the folks had the Amish build it, and she told me that she never had seen such a work crew. They came, they started on time, they worked till and the foreman would say break, and they'd all take a break for lunch, and he'd say work, and they'd get back and go to work. And it was, she said, they didn't use a lot of power tools in that job. Really interesting.
Yeah.
I saw something on TV. They're going to have a American Experience. I think they're going to have a special on the Amish. It's going to be an interesting program. Well, Dara, we appreciated your being with us this morning. We've run out of time again. That happens often on this show. We always try to close. Judy, do you have anything that you wanted to, before we back into the ether world?
Well, no.
And I want to say thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it. Thank
Well,
you.
we appreciate your business. We always try to close with a subject matter that's somewhat analogous to the subject of the day. I found one about retirement. It says retirement's a field of clover, but by the time you reach it, you're too old to climb over the fence. Thank you for Viewpoint.